Good morning and afternoon to everyone watching on the replay or live. My name is Tracy Brown. I'm your somatic nutrition therapist and a tuned eating expert. And I have got myself a brand new set of outdoor chairs that I'm sitting on, so I don't have to sit on the ground all the time, which I really love when I'm doing these videos with you all, but I sit on the back steps or sometimes on the back porch or whatever, so it's all working out. Good morning, Megan. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm hoping today that lots of you come live so we can do Q&A Friday as well about this topic of capturing your thoughts and remembering that everything you say that's too hard or you can't do or is done okay or not safe, your mind and your body are listening. And it's just always going to be this amazing feedback loop of being able to recognize what is truly doable and safe and what we need more support with. So I'm going to show you my new table real quick. It's one of these little wrought iron tables, and we got them secondhand, and they're so cute. So let me show you real quick. Okay, that's it. So anyway, just wanted to show you this is where I'm sitting today, and good morning to everybody who's watching live. I'm really glad you're here. All right, so let's get started. I want to talk a lot about the idea of slowing down to capture your thoughts. And so I hope there's a raise of hands here. Has anybody read the book Life Without Ed by Jenny Schaefer? If you have not, it's been around now a good almost 15, 20 years, which is so amazing. That tells you how long I've been doing this. And I wish that book had been around, when I was in recovery, because it would have helped so much to be able to identify why, even though I didn't want to have maybe certain behaviors, that I wasn't very good at catching my thoughts, and I was terrible at slowing down, which is why I'm always talking about it. But it's really important, if you ever read the chapter around, what are you thinking? We have to catch, she calls it in the book, catch, challenge, and change your thoughts. And this is all CBT, so you can maybe have different behaviors. And I think it goes all ways. So, as a somatic professional, I'm always looking at ways that we can just bypass the overthinking, over talking about changing our thoughts and using our body. But I think it's important to know that we do have thoughts, and sometimes they just run amok, and they're not all true, and everything that we think and feel is just not true. The first step is to catch those. So if you're telling yourself when you look in the mirror, my skin is too dry, remember that your head, your unconscious is going to say, your subconscious is going to say, yes, boss. And that might lead you to some behaviors of obsessively moisturizing your face, or just saying, oh, my skin's so dry and it'll never be the way I want it to look. So, what's the point? So you never put moisturizer on. It goes both ways. So I think it's really important just to be able to okay, maybe my face is dry, and that there's something I can do about that, and there maybe isn't everything I can do about that. So where is my level of acceptance? I know it's a silly example. It's not as charged as maybe our face, our body fat, our wrinkles, or whatever, but you get the picture. You can still do that kind of work. So even if you cannot change every behavior this second, or you change it 50%, it still all counts as progress. So it's really important to recognize, well, how am I talking to myself? And if I'm having thoughts, this is where you can bring the somatic in, is I bet those thoughts are connected to some body fight, flight, freeze, or please as well. Some of this is probably very habitual, and some of it is that I'm having maybe a somatic memory of feeling unsafe. And so how can I bring safety and regulation to that? Some of it may be a right in your moment face thing that's happening, literally, oh, I just saw a car accident and I feel really shaken up. So, that's something that happened to you right this second. How all this relates to food and body is that we are very, very used to, and this is how the traumatized brain works sometimes, is that it's really, really, really good at scanning for potential threat, and it's really good at over catastrophizing what is or isn't a threat. So if we believe, okay, so if we live in this culture, we know we live in a fat phobic culture, we start to think that everybody thinks fat phobic things about ourselves, like us, all the time. When in reality, if we could find our feet in our seat, in our back, and capture that thought, so do the body and the head thoughts, it's like, yeah, I do live in a fat phobic culture, but I actually don't have any evidence that's true that every single person is thinking fat phobic thoughts all the time, and especially about me. I don't have any evidence of that. Could be true, might not be true. And even if they do, it's totally a projection of their own internalized stuff, their woundings, and their attachment to thinking that the only way that you can be healthy or happy or confident is to be thinner. So there's lots of things that you can do as you start to catch your thoughts. Is like, okay, wait a minute. How old is this? Can I be with it? If the answer is nope, okay. If you have to compartmentalize it and come back to it because you're busy, make sure you do that. Don't just shove that down into a corner. Come back to like, what happened there that got brought up? Can I unpack that a little bit? Can I, just basically decode where that came from. So if you've been doing really well for a while and it's like, I'm having a lot more fat phobic thoughts or a lot more food rules than I've had in like ages, I know that something must be up that's bigger than my capacity or bigger than I have some regulation or co-regulation for. And co-regulation means like I am basically drafting off somebody who's grounded and regulated and getting some sense of like, it's okay. They're here. There's something here for me. There's something here with me that I can remind my body and my system that it's not 1950 or 1990 anymore. And right in this very second, even with all the crazy stuff in our world, that we're relatively safe enough. So I want to bring the bottom up and the top down together today. And I know this stuff is a little more technical, but again, that's why I know you all come here, is that you actually want to learn skills and techniques that work, that are helpful if you do them on a regular basis. So I hope this stuff is helpful for you, because I do believe that like we do need the role models and the resources of reading and seeing images of people being very diverse, seeing that life exists outside of like, fashion magazines and Hollywood, that real people can be real and happy and content with themselves and not be obsessive with food and weight. That totally exists in real life. We are just not used to looking for it because our brains are so habituated to thinner is better. And so if you have basically if your tunnel vision, like I can't do hands here, but if your tunnel vision is thinner is better, and you keep telling yourself that, your subconscious says, yes, boss. So every time you go to eat something, like we talked about on Monday, again, please go back and review that video if you haven't already watched it, is if you make weight gain be bad with your thinking, your actions will follow. Your actions will like recapitulate that. So your actions need to be, oh my gosh, if I eat the cake, I'll get fat. You have to thought stop that, regulate yourself and eat the cake so you can show yourself that you can eat cake in a very regulated way, and you show your brain that cake isn't dangerous and that weight change, whether it happens or not, isn't dangerous, and that you're okay. And that's the cycle. That's the cycle of how it works. So I hope this video was helpful. If you need some help more personally with this, please reach out and let me know. I do have some openings right now for some new clients. If you need some help with that in a group situation, the Peaceful Eating community is always open for you to have support 7 days a week. And weekly meetings we have 6 times a month. And then what else I can share with you? And make sure that you're using all the free resources that I, dive into some of the aspects of this work. So I hope this was all helpful to you today. I hope you have a really great weekend. And please pass along these videos for people who are just feeling the looping and they're spinning and not getting anywhere. So if you're one of those people, like I've been doing this work for like a year, 5 years, and I still feel like I'm not as far along as I should, that probably means there's a piece missing in some of the somatic or unpacking and decoding thought work going on that needs to happen. And sometimes we just do better with that when we have somebody looking at the blind spots. So don't be afraid to reach out. All right, I will see you all in next week's video. We are actually going to talk about labs and nutrition. And the title of it is going to be like, stop freaking out about your lab work. Because again, when we see abnormal labs, we get really catastrophic really fast, and we think we have to fix it really fast. And that's a flight response. Flight responses don't make bodies heal. And so that's what we're going to talk about next week. I will see you then. Bye for now.